big piece of steaming pile of shit. All right.
This is
I'm
like,
getting rowdy. I'm getting rowdy for this episode. I'm just
I
gonna
know
let
what
you
I'm
know
gonna,
right now.
I know what I'm gonna put in your stocking this year for Christmas. All right. Spoiler alert. All right.
Oh, hopefully it's not a Blu-ray of this movie. I'm just telling you that right now.
If it comes out
All
of the
right.
wrapper, I'll be disappointed. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Nightcap, part 2.
Welcome back to part 2 of the gun movies. All right.
Double Dragon, double feature. Right?
Double Dragon double feature. All right.
Guns Akimbo versus Way of the Gun. All right. Now I know everyone's probably been sitting on their hands waiting for this movie. All right. Go ahead, take a drink. Take a drink, buddy.
Yeah, but like I said, like before we start, I gotta pour myself another drink from for this movie because this movie was fucking rough.
We didn't even do
rough,
it.
bro.
What are you drinking tonight? Are you drinking straight from the bottle again? What are you doing?
Nah, I'm not drinking straight out the bottle, but I'm drinking Bullet bourbon, my go-to because Bullet never broke my heart, so that's what I'm drinking.
All right, there you go. There you have it. All right, I'm drinking a little Crown and Coke. All right, in homage to Rich, wherever he is.
Rich IR, he's in IR right now. That's why it's Double Dragon time.
I hope he's ready for the season. I don't know.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. We'll see. We might have to put him in injured reserve for the rest of the season. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see
what happens.
It's non-podcast related injury, so we'll see. I don't have to pay him. So that's the good news.
No. All right, man, take it away. This is your favorite movie. Take it away.
This isn't my favorite, but this is definitely one of my favorites, Way of the Gun. All right, let's get into it. The Way of the Gun is a 2000 American crime thriller film written and directed by Christopher McQuarrie in his directorial debut with Ryan Phillippe, Benicio del Toro, Juliette Lewis, Taye Diggs, Nikki Katt, Scott Wilson, and James Caan, with some supporting roles also of, Jeffrey Lewis, who does a great job. The story is about Parker and Longbow, a pair of low-level petty criminals who fund their existence through unconventional and often illegal means. Wanting to move past petty crime, they vow to get the proverbial big score. While at a sperm donation clinic, the pair overhear a telephone conversation detailing a $1 million payment to a surrogate mother. And the two vow to basically kidnap the surrogate, and that's kind of where the story starts. The movie, like I said, came out in 2000, had a budget of $8.5 million. Box office was 13.1. Let's see here. The critical reception was mixed, Al. But over time, the film is now considered a cult classic. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I mean, overall, the plot of the movie, I'll say this. The lowest score I have is on the plot itself. I put here, basically, it's very simple, but in a way it's elegant. It's like a, very old, it feels like a Western. This movie to me is very much like a throwback Western, right? And it's, it deals with the kidnapping here, it deals with these two bad guys, kind of anti-hero types, and they're, like he said, they're trying to get, the proverbial big score. And that's just kind of where it goes. And a lot of this movie is just, in the details, man, in the nuance. Great actors. I like the score itself. It's I don't know. I liked it. It's simple. I only gave it a 5, so it's not overly complex. No, it's not Inception, right? It's not a dream within a dream, within a kidnapping, within a dream.
Right. I get it.
But I don't know. Go ahead. Let the fun begin. Go ahead, buddy. What do you think?
Well, the plot I gave a very low score also because the first of many low scores, by the way. And I gave it a 4.
Take that back. I gave it a 6, just FYI. Sorry.
On the fly. I gave it a 4 because, like you said, it's a rather simplistic plot, mind you. Like two, and I don't get why they're supposed to be like 2 low-level guys, right? But then I don't want to get too ahead. But then next thing you know, they're like almost like trained like military with like the shootout at the end. But we'll get to that later. Yeah. But yeah, it's simplistic. But I like the. I'll back you up in regards to it feeling like a Western. It did. It's, in some points, it did feel like a little Western, like, especially at the standoff at the end. But, yeah, simplistic plot. It is what it is. And, yeah, that's it.
Overall, let's just move on to the production part itself. So McQuarrie, he also, I don't know, did he direct Unusual Suspects?
He did direct this one also.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Did he write it? I know he's got some.
He wrote it.
He wrote that one. Okay. The
Yeah.
overall, the movie, I mean, it's very much, I feel like until you get into the 2000s and the digital age, the movies,
Hmm.
they're not heavy on color grading. You know, it's pretty
No.
much shot out through the camera.
Yeah.
And in terms of this one too. Now, the kind of the appeal of this movie too, though, again, kind of to the throwback of the Western feel, it's very raw. And I saw
Hmm.
some of the notes saying that McQuarrie's brother was a Navy SEAL and he helped like choreograph a lot of the fight scenes to make them more
Okay.
realistic. That's why they're taking cover, you know what I mean? Like in this very
Right.
like dramatic fashion, the opening scenes. But I don't want to jump too far ahead of the opening scene itself, right? That club scene when they come out, because that
Yeah.
scene is just so great. Sarah
Yeah.
Silverman, right? A very young
Yeah.
Sarah Silverman
Very young.
with her big ass mouth, right?
Yeah.
Gets her boyfriend into a fight, and you can't tell me that you didn't at least enjoy that scene.
I did enjoy that scene. That was the
Okay.
only scene I'll tell you that. That was one of two scenes that I enjoyed in this movie because yeah, it started off strong. I was like, okay, well, Sarah Silverman just got punched in the mouth. I'm like, all right, well, let's do this. Let's do this movie. Like, all right,
Yeah,
I'm into it. I'm into it.
I
But
think
then it
that
just
movie.
went
Yeah, go for
it
it.
went
I'm sorry.
downhill from there. So go take it away.
Well, I think that the reason why I want to touch base on that scene, because I think it's important later for the ending too. And right away, the movie's setting the tone. It's saying, okay, this is the kind of movie this is going to be. It's not going to be like, you know, very stylized or whatever. It's just going to be about these two characters that are just kind of want to give a finger to the system, right? And that's what he talks. There's that little like
Right.
soliloquy in the beginning with Ryan Phillippe's character, you know, talking about them and saying how they want to take their own path and all this stuff like that, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Mm-hmm.
then, but getting back into the production part of it, sorry I had to go on a little tangent there. Like I said, the movie, the way it's shot, the cinematography, I think it's good. I don't think it's necessarily
Yeah.
over the top, outstanding, but like I said, I think it's part of the appeal, that kind of rawness. I really like the soundtrack. You know, like I said, it definitely reinforces that Western feel. And then the gunfighting scenes, I love just how raw they are. I mean, it's the opposite of the Guns Akimbo, right? Where everything's so super stylized. This movie's just stripped. And I love that scene where she's when she gets left right there, right in front of the elevator, and they
Yeah.
all take off and they're having that gun scene, you know, that gunfight
Mm-hmm.
outside, and all you can hear is just the guns just
Yeah, the
blasting.
guns.
You
Yeah.
just hear like the bullets hitting in the concrete, and it just, you feel that visceral, like, whoa, like holy crap, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a very much different effect than the movie we just did, you know what I mean? Which was just very much like,
Right.
you know, there's all these people are getting shot and killed, but it's people that you couldn't care less anyways, and no one really shows pain. This movie's like very raw.
Mm-hmm.
It's like kind of the opposite, right?
Right. Right. And yeah, I mean, the production was like you said, like it's not gonna be. Back then, it wasn't like no color grading. It wasn't supposed to pop at you. Was for this movie, and it was still decent. I still gave it an 11 out of 20, just because nothing really stood out, but nothing was supposed to stand out.
Yeah.
And that's what they meant to make it look like.
Let's talk about this cast. I mean, there's a lot of good actors here.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
think what's just kind of weird is like it's this, they're an odd couple, right? Ryan Phillippe's character as Longbow and Parker,
Yeah.
and with Del Toro, but they kind of work in a weird way. You know what I mean? Because they're kind of like this yin and yang, but you kind of feel like, at least for me, I kind of feel like in this universe, you could kind of see these guys somehow running into each other and kind of like forming this weird allegiance. And then I think the great part of it too is you have them, this kind of pair, this duo, and then you have the yin and the yang, right? You have Taye Diggs, right, with Obex,
Yeah.
and Jeffers, and they're like the very sophisticated, button down guys. And then
Right.
even take that one more step further, you have Sarno's character, James Caan, and then Jeffrey Lewis, right?
Right.
And they're like the future of what these guys are going to look like, right? And
Yeah.
Jeffrey Lewis's little part in this movie is freaking great. The scene where he's gets called by Sarno and he's like playing Russian roulette by himself. I mean, come on. He's like, "Are you busy?" He's like, "No."
Yeah, no, all right. What's up?
And whatever happened to Taye Diggs, by the way?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe he got into romantic comedies after this, but the acting for me was the only saving grace in this movie. Like they pretty much turned chicken shit into chicken salad, because like
come on, man.
I mean, come on, man. Like James Caan, Del Toro, they were the saving grace in this movie. I gave it a 16 out of 30 just because of those two. Philippe didn't.
16 out of 30.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said,
Jeez.
Like I said, hold on. I hated this movie, so
God.
So
16 out of 30.
Yeah, and I only did that because of my respect to Del Toro and James Caan, because they did a good job. All right,
You know
and
what I'll say too is I thought Julia Lewis, and I'm not a fan of hers, but I thought
no,
she was okay in this movie. I thought she did good.
yeah, I guess, man. But like I said, it's whatever, man. And like Philippi got lost in the mix just because Del Toro was such a, I felt like his character, his acting, his dialogue was just way better than Philippi. So he kind of like, to me, Philippi just got lost in the mix in this movie
Yeah, I
for
kind
me
of see
anyway.
that.
Yeah.
Well, Del Toro in this movie, it was like, I mean, to be honest with you, in terms of him in his career, I think it was perfect. He was like, because he didn't have to say
Hmm.
much, and he just had to be it,
Right.
right? Like that scene where he's in the in the like the quickie mart, and he's stealing the stuff, and then he lets the
With a
chick see
banana.
him. Yeah, and he lets
Yeah.
the girl see him, and she smiles at him. Like that's just him, because the
Yeah.
weird thing about Del Toro is much like myself, he's an introvert. You know what I mean? He's not one of these like
Uh huh.
overly emotive actors. And so for
Right.
this movie,
Right.
he didn't have to, right? He got to
Yeah.
just kind of be kind of quirky. And he's
Yeah.
kind of the bad cop to Parker's good cop, right? Who's kind of starting
Yeah.
getting empathetic towards the baby. And constantly he's like prodding Parker too, right? Like he's just like, you have too much faith in people,
Yeah.
right? And then he shows when the doctor, he leaves the gun in the bag. So the doctor to show him like this guy's not, a good guy just because he's a doctor. And then later on, when he leaves his
Right.
jacket on the thing, and he tells him, "Yeah, go get your jacket," and then the chick blows the hole
Yeah.
through the door. So I don't know. I just thought he was just awesome. You know what I mean? And then when he go through the
Yeah.
brothel and the girls are running out, and he slaps the chick on the butt, like
And he
you just
slaps her
feel
in the
like,
ass. Yeah.
yeah, you feel like it's just he's just improvising the whole movie.
Yeah, like and he gave actually the best line, at least the line that I enjoyed the most in the movie, when he was like telling like, "What are you gonna tell God?" And he's like,
Yeah,
"I'll just tell him I was framed."
yeah.
Like, and that was like, to me, that was the best. That, to me, that was my favorite line in the movie. And like, and like I said, acting was the saving grace of this movie. Otherwise, ugh,
Well, look at
God, it
we're
was.
halfway through this review, and I still haven't you haven't really laid into it. I don't know if you're doing a
Oh
little
no,
rope a
no.
dope. Are you doing? You're
Oh
waiting for
yeah,
me. You're
I'm
waiting for me
waiting.
right now.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting until the directing X Factor. Then I'm gonna hit you with a haymaker, like
All
right
right,
there, and then you're just gonna be like,
I,
"Oh God."
where did that come from?
Yeah.
All
So
of a
so
sudden,
take it away.
someone comes into my
Take it
room. I'm like,
away.
oh God.
Yeah, take it away. Hope you're ready. Hope you're ready.
Well, let's get into the director. I thought the directing. I mean, I think the storytelling in this movie was again one of the strongest parts. I mean, that combined with the acting, because he took, like I said, a very simple idea and
Mm-hmm.
kind of just spruced it up. It's like going to a restaurant and they're serving you something, reinventing something that you've already had before, and you're just like, oh wow, this works. At least that's how I felt
Right.
for me. Now I don't think it was flawless. I think during like
Mm-hmm.
midway through the movie, like 2/3, like the way it starts to lag a little bit, right? Because they're doing
Right.
like so much like exposition, and they're trying to tell you like, okay, this
Mm-hmm.
person ties in here, this is how this
Mm-hmm.
person ties in here, and they're hinting at things. But it didn't bother me too much. And then um, the fight scenes I just thought were outstanding. In that last, fight scene at the end in the bordello,
Mm-hmm. Right.
brothel, and she's having the baby in the room, and then they come outside and he's
Mm-hmm.
fighting all these dudes. I just thought that whole part was just dope. I love the scene where he jumps in the fountain and he just gets his hand, his arms all gashed up by the glass. I mean, it just felt real. It felt raw. It felt like, this wasn't one of these movies where the good guys are just going to walk away and win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because they're the good guys, and they don't, right? And it ends very
Yeah.
much the same way it starts, with the two guys lying on the ground staring up, kind of victims of their own decisions.
Mm-hmm. Well, one, there's no good guys in this movie, so let's just
Yeah,
get
there
that
really
out the
isn't.
way. Yeah. And the directing, like I'm glad you mentioned the whole like you're going to a restaurant and he's serving you food that you've always had in a different way. To me, this is leftovers. Microwave leftovers. All
Oh
right.
God.
Microwave leftovers of a Tarantino film, because this is a wannabe Tarantino hack film, which doesn't like nowhere near as well executed, convoluted just to be the sake of convoluted, jumbled, confusing. It was a mess, bro. It was it was
You
a
got me on
mess.
the ropes. You got me in the corner
Yeah,
right
I
now.
got you on the road.
You're gonna knock me out. You're gonna
Yeah,
knock me out.
I'm about to knock you out right now. And it was convoluted
Paulie's
just
gonna
to,
throw in
for
the
the
towel right now. Save me right now.
yeah, like throwing the towel. But yeah, and it was jumbled and it was confusing just for the sake of being confusing, and just to be, and like I said, it wanted to be a Tarantino movie, but it wasn't as well executed by any means, not by a long shot. All right,
How can you
and
say
yeah,
that? How can you
no,
say not by a long shot?
not by a long shot. And yeah, I gave it a 10 out of 30, and that was very generous.
10 out of 30
right?
is very generous. Wowza. All right. Whew.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if I got much to add to
Yeah.
that.
What do you got to say about that?
I wholeheartedly disagree. That's pretty much what I have to say right now. All right. Your ass backwards. All right. That's all I got right now.
Whatever.
All right.
Whatever, man. Whatever, dude.
Well,
that was my feeling. All right.
I don't even know if I should even ask you what your X factor is, because I think I have a guess, but you know what? Go ahead. What do you got?
I gave 11? It a 0. And you're lucky. And you're lucky. I wasn't able to give it a negative, because if I was able to give it a negative, I would have given it a negative. Because
if you would have gave it a negative, you would have broke the scoring system forever. I don't know.
Yeah. Because like this had like, honestly, like, there was a couple times I almost threw in the towel in this movie. I was like, I can't finish this. I honestly cannot finish this movie. Like, I remember I texted you 20 minutes into the movie saying, I can't finish this movie. Like, this movie is god awful. This is like, and I'll drop a bomb right now. Hold on, let me finish this.
Let me know when you're ready.
This is the worst movie I've ever seen. All right.
This is the worst movie you've ever seen.
Yes, and I've seen plenty of like awful.
And movies. I know you've seen Guns Akimbo, because we just watched it. So that's saying something. That's saying something.
And I just gave it a great score. Yeah, this was the worst movie. This took over The Last Jedi as the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about that stinker right now. Don't even.
All right. And like, yeah, Last Jedi was the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen until this movie.
Well, let me say this. Much like Daisy Ridley's performance, I'm finding your performance right now uninspiring. Because I'll be honest with you, I think I don't believe you. I don't think this is the worst movie you've ever seen. I don't believe you. I'm just gonna say it right now. All right.
All right.
I don't believe it. I think your numbers are phony. All right. There's no way.
My phony number. Right? No. These numbers are legit. No way. All right. These numbers are legit. 41 out of 100.
Here's my X factor. It was 9, but I just bumped it up. It's 10 now. All right. There you go. All right.
All right. 41 out of 100. You know, I might give it a 40 out of 100 just to spite you. All right.
Here's the thing.
41 out of 100.
I gave it 84. All right. So there you go. The line is drawn in the sand. So now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's going to be up to the fans. Whoever watches this, we need people to chime in here. All right.
Go for it.
And tell Al how wrong he is.
No, right? how wrong this guy is, because, oh my God, dude. Like, I can't believe this. Like, this movie was rough. This movie was rough, guys. Here's the thing. Don't even watch this movie. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm saving you guys 2 freaking hours of this movie, of your life, to watch this movie. All right.
Well, that would be a shame if you did, because it's a great movie, great performances, it's directing. You know, I mean, it really had it all. Really complete picture. It's a cult classic for a reason. You know, unlike Guns Akimbo, which will be as soonly as forgotten before the credits even start rolling. You're gonna get up and just be like, "What happened to my life?" All right. Save your time. Go play Call of Duty instead, and just skip Daniel Radcliffe and that turd. All right, that Cheeto turd. All right, then you left in another movie. All right, and that movie's un-American. It's from New Zealand. I'm done. Three, 2, 1. We're back again.
Oh wait, what's up, guys?
Sorry about that. We had too many hot takes in one episode.
Steve couldn't handle the heat that I was throwing, so he was reeling, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta go, guys." Like,
it was quite the opposite. Is Al's corner threw in the towel, and he froze.
No,
so,
no, absolutely not. No,
white flag on his end. No. But there it is. You know what? I mean, 2 very polarizing opinions. I mean, we called it from the beginning. You know, these are two different movies, very different movies, and so you know, it's gonna be up to what you like. You know.
And I like what I like, and I didn't like this movie. So.
And this was an excellent movie. So if you're into performances, you know, this might be the movie for you. If you're into fun, whatever the hell that means, cotton candy, all right? And maybe Daniel Radcliffe, if you're really a big fan, you know, maybe Guns Akimbo's for you, all right?
Yeah, because, or if you want to waste 2 hours of your life, then Way of the Gun is for you guys. So.
All right, well, let's call it a wrap. Nightcap. Cheers.
Good night, folks. Have a good one.
Rich, wherever you are, get better.